Hi everybody, how are you? It's Andre here, Licensed Immigration Advisor. In this video I want to give my thoughts on what's happening with the New Zealand border and what's happening with border entry for partners, independent children, what's happening for students, and what might be happening with the Singapore travel bubble. So I recently did a video where I said I thought the borders might open at the end of 2021 or start of 2022. I've sort of given up hope on that, and I expect it'll be pushed back somewhat. So what I'm going to start with in this video is what I think is going to happen with partners, independent children. So I've got some clients, they've been waiting for like a year or more, maybe more than a year, to bring their partner and their children to New Zealand, and just nothing's happened at all. The government has just not made enough border exemptions for partners, independent children. And the other issue is that quarantine is just completely full. It's completely full until November. So at the moment, I just don't see any chances for partners or dependent children to be able to come to New Zealand. I'd say for at least 6 months, because even if the government creates a border exemption category, there's still no spaces in quarantine. So even if they allow these people in, they're still going to have nowhere to stay. So I really think that it's going to be at least 6 months before partners and dependent children can come to New Zealand, which is not good news for most people, for a lot of the people watching this video. And I really think they'll need to finish the vaccine program in New Zealand before they can really start bringing partners and dependent children into New Zealand. So not pretty depressing news there, but I could be wrong, that's just my opinion. The other thing I'd like to talk about is students. So I get a lot of questions about when will students be able to return to New Zealand. Well, good question. The big semester will be starting next year, the February 2022 semester, and the universities and polytechs and institutes will be putting a lot of pressure on the government to let some students back in, because the universities and institutes, they're going bankrupt. The international education market in New Zealand is worth $5 billion. That's $5 billion every year. By the universities and institutes taking the financial strain pretty hard. So they'll be putting a lot of pressure on the government to let some students back in. I don't think they'll get all students back in February, but hopefully they'll let some students back in, and just to test things and see how it all goes. So my guess there'll be opportunities for student visas February 2022. But we'll see what happens, and I could be wrong. The other thing I want to talk about is the possibility of a Singapore travel bubble. So New Zealand's currently got travel bubbles with Australia, with the Cook Islands, and with Niue. The next step, my guess, the next country that will open a travel bubble with is Singapore. Australia's also said the same thing. They're also making plans for a travel bubble with Singapore. So we'll have to see what happens. At the moment, Singapore has got about 70% of its population vaccinated, and it's got very low rates of coronavirus. So it looks like it might be possible in the next 3 to 6 months to create that travel bubble with Singapore, that travel bubble between New Zealand and Singapore. But it could take longer, so I'm not sure. But hopefully, if that travel bubble is created, it's sort of a sign that New Zealand is starting to open up more to the world. So that's all I wanted to talk about. And when do I think borders will completely open? Well, I'm glad you asked, and my guess at the moment would be the middle of 2022. So pushing it back a lot from my last video. But yeah, I'm going to guess about the middle of 2022, maybe. It could be later than that. But hopefully before they fully open the borders, they'll start letting in partners, they'll start letting in independent children, and they'll start letting in students, and they'll also get that travel bubble with Singapore. But we'll see what happens, and I really have no idea, to be honest. Anything could happen at this time. So if this video was helpful, please like, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you all later.